Vijay, an electrical operator, is on his way to attend to an electrical work assigned on the instructions of his supervisor. Meanwhile, he receives a message from his colleague requesting him to attend to another work. Vijay gets distracted and decides to complete his first task quickly. A simple mistake, a slip of mind, can result in an incident or a dangerous accident. Vijay knows his job well, but just a little eagerness to save a few minutes exposed him to a danger that could be lethal for him. At Tata Communications Limited, it is always our endeavor to create a safe working environment for our workforce and prevent any safety incident or accident. Tata Communications Limited has a wide network which carries over 24% of the world's internet routes. At each of our locations, the electrical maintenance department is an integral and important part of our setup. At Tata Communications, safety is our first priority. The objective of this video is to educate our workforce towards identifying electrical hazards at their work sites and helping them implement corresponding safety measures. Now let us see what was wrong with Vijay's actions. Rushing in for work. Vijay was instructed by his supervisor to attend to an electrical activity. Meanwhile, he received a message from his colleague to attend to another work. Vijay tried to accommodate both the operations within a short span of time and hence ignored critical safety measures. Any distraction during an electrical activity can be very dangerous. Hence, one should attend to only one electrical activity at a time. Vijay skipped the process of filling up the PTW, that is, permit to work. This is a mandatory requirement which ensures that every electrical activity is performed with all the safety procedures in place. No lockout, tagout. Vijay proceeded to carry out his task without following the process of lockout and tagout. You should never ignore this crucial safety measure. Not confirming the supply cutoff. Vijay did not cross-check the electrical supply main switchover to ensure it was locked out. By ignoring this critical step, Vijay exposed himself to a potentially dangerous situation. Working without a watcher. Vijay did not ensure that the person allotted to him as a watcher accompanied him. These were a few simple but critical safety measures that Vijay ignored, and the result was an accident. To ensure a safe working environment, let's start with our basic understanding of electricity. Our body can conduct electricity, which means that when a person touches a live wire or anything that has electrical current flowing through it, and his or her feet are on the ground, they create another complete circuit. This means that the electricity passes through the person's body into the ground, resulting in an electric shock. To prevent such a situation, we can break the circuit by placing necessary barriers such as insulation, earthing, and other suitable devices such as circuit breakers or a fuse before we start our activity on an electrical circuit. Electrical safety begins with local site assessment to identify potential hazards at the site. This is important to make oneself aware of any immediate hazards in the vicinity. In this case, one obvious hazard is the presence of a wet surface or water around the electrical panel. Electrically qualified and trained persons alone should be involved in the operation and maintenance of electrical equipment. You must avoid wearing conductors such as jewelry, metallic watches and metal belt buckles. Any unsafe or unwatchful contact with electricity can be potentially hazardous, resulting in shock, burn or even death. A victim is also at the risk of secondary hazards such as fall from height after having an electrical shock. A few important steps which must be followed before you start the work. Raise an electrical work permit and get it duly approved by the concerned teams. Ensure that the equipment is connected through ELCB. This reduces risk of electrical shock as it breaks the circuit by tripping, even for a minor imbalance in electricity flow. Adequate lighting is a must. If lighting is found insufficient, please ensure to install adequate lighting before starting any work. If there are electrical portable tools, those should be properly earthed and must have double insulation. Use lockout tagout after de-energizing the equipment. But do not operate tags on the equipment. Ensure that sufficient and suitable locks are in place to isolate the energy. Before using any electrical cords or tools, always check their condition to ensure that they are good. If they are not in good condition, segregate and tag them. Do not use. Know the location of the fire extinguishers which are suited for fighting electrical fires. CO2 and DCP fire extinguishers are recommended for electrical fires. Work in progress areas need to be barricaded and caution notices like danger, don't operate, work is being carried out should be displayed at the work site. If high tension disconnection is required, then proper hand gloves should be worn to operate the isolator. Rubber mats have to be provided for work on or near the electrical installation panel. Ensure that the wiring has no joints, is not broken or does not have torn insulation. You must not work in wet conditions under any circumstances. Ensure that there is a person allotted to you as a watcher when you carry out any electrical activity. Personal protective equipment or PPE is an essential part of electrical safety. Some of the PPEs that are mandatory at an electrical job site are fire-resistant clothing, safety shoes, electric protection gloves, safety helmet and safety goggles. Just before beginning a task, ensure that safety briefing, that is toolbox talk, is given to all the workers. This ensures that everyone remembers the importance of safety and also the safe method of performing the task. Every training session is an opportunity for you to learn and refresh the safety measures. It is important to be able to recognize abnormal conditions such as exposed wiring, sparks, smoke or fire. When you encounter such a situation, be extra cautious and take appropriate actions to minimize the damage. After completing the task, bring the site to normalcy. Remove the locks and tags. Double check and then energize the equipment. In the event that all the safeguard systems have failed and a co-worker gets a shock, never have any direct physical contact with the victim, else you will also be electrocuted. Instead, deactivate the energy and follow the emergency response plan. Call up the emergency response team immediately. They will take charge of the situation. Our friend Vijay is extremely lucky that he survived with minor injuries. Whatever the urgency, he now ensures that all the compulsory safety measures are undertaken while working on an electrical panel. Working with electricity can be very safe when hazards are identified and mitigated. Ignoring hazards when it comes to electricity can be devastating. If you follow these procedures, guidelines and instructions diligently, you will always be safe from any untoward mishaps and accidents.
Hi everyone, this is Arun Kher from Facility and Infrastructure, and I am going to talk about safety. Safety is a value, a habit and a way of life, and we all need to work towards achieving the target of zero injuries or zero incidents. The clear message which you get from this video is that if you bypass a safe practice, it directly impacts you. There is no work in the world which is worth taking a life-threatening risk. I strongly encourage each one of you to make safety a way of your life. Report any unsafe practice, unsafe behavior which you observe around you. Remember, it is not a matter of finding fault with others, it is a way of mitigating the risk around us. Follow safe practices. Have a safe day every day.